Hello to you all today. How are you doing? I thought we would do a little show and tell today. I'm working on new divination and healing techniques, and because of my affinity now with the Greek gods, it is Greek mythology. So let's have a little show and tell. And if anybody would like some divination, my email is in the show notes and you can book there. So first of all, we have this calyx, and this is going to be our reading bowl. We have the god Apollo with his lyre, very special deity to me, and I'm just going to place that there. And we're just going to look at all of these items today. We're going to pull them out of my coconut shell. So let's have a little rummage. And the first thing we pull out is amethyst. Now the Greeks loved amethyst. They would carry it around with them and they believed that it would stop them getting drunk. Yes, you heard it here. So we have this wonderful little piece of amethyst for cleansing. Now the next thing I'm pulling out is a little chip of flint. And this to me stands for Hades, god of the underworld. Because your thread, your life thread would be cut with this little chip. You can't really see it, but this has the carving of a dragon on it. It is jade. So this stands for Medea, who calmed and stilled the dragon. For Jason. Now if you pulled this out, this is a scene from the Iliad. So if this was pulled out, there would be trouble and disagreements ahead. And this little bit of branch is from Delphi, and it is from the bay tree, the Bay Laurel. So this stands for Daphne, whom Apollo chased, and Zeus heard her cries and transformed her into a tree. So the Bay Laurel stands for transformation and cleansing. It is a cleansing tree. Now we have this little vulva flower, and that stands for Aphrodite, the rites of love, as they were called. Now I've put a Shiva lingum in here because it looks like similar to the omphalos, the navel stone. And this was where it's planted at Delphi, and that is where Zeus let two eagles go, one from the east and one from the west, and where they crossed was Delphi, and it was considered the center of the earth. And these stones are quite often in the center of temples in India. And they would pour milk and honey and decorate it with flowers. But this stands for our omphalos, for centering yourself and being grounded. Now, let's have another little rummage. We have more petrified wood. And this too would stand for Daphne, for fossilization, for ancestral worship. Petrified wood, this is called. Again, grounding. A bit of more permanent grounding. Oh, we have two coming out here. We have the red thread of Ariadne, who helped Theseus find his way out of the Minotaur. So if you chose this, I would think you're a little bit lost and need to find your way. We have this moonstone new moon, or it could be a waning moon. But if it is a new moon, then that would stand for Artemis, goddess of the new moon, Apollo's twin. And if it was a waning moon, then that would stand for Hecate, or one of the elder witch crone goddesses. So this is actually a piercing thing that belonged to my partner, but I have chosen this for Zeus, a lightning bolt. Marking your spot. Could be an arrow from Artemis as well, or Apollo. But for me, this is Zeus, the sky god. And when I have readings with people, even though these mean certain things, they're prompts, because we tap into the energy of the person we're doing the reading for. Copper. This is the god Hephaestus, the smithy, the creator, using metals. What is it you would be creating? We have our Bumblebee. This is for the Melissae, the Oracle of Delphi. It could also be for the Lucian rites, so shadow work. And bees are prophetic. It was said you could listen and discern what was said, much in the same way that the Druids would read the flight patterns of starlings. We have this poison pendants, rose quartz and amethyst, and a poison pendant is something you can open, and your poison would be kept in there. So this stands for Circe. Circe, another witch goddess from the island of Aiaia, I think it is, daughter of Helios, the sun god, who enticed Odysseus and his men to stay a year on the island, and she changed those men into pigs. Here we have a cypress fur cone, I suppose you'd call it, a seed pod from Delphi. This was picked up in the temple itself, and the cypress tree is one of the trees dedicated to Apollo. So this stands for Apollo. Here's something else which is more Indian, but this stands for Dionysus because of the curly hair. And Dionysus was said to have travelled to India. So this is Dionysus. And if Dionysus came out, you're either drinking too much, you're not drinking enough, or he also stands for the theatre, the Dionysia. What act are you putting on? This is a rose quartz and gold arrowhead, and this stands for the war god Ares. So this is a knuckle bone. This also has come from Delphi. And on one side I have drawn Alpha, which means yes, go for it. And on the other side we have drawn Omega, which is no, wait, slow down. So this is your yes and no. And these are from lambs. These are, I think, knee joints or ankle joints. And hundreds and thousands of these have been found in the Corrican Cave, which is about 7 kilometers up Mount Parnassus. It's about a 10k walk from Delphi. I didn't get to the Corrican Cave, but my friend did, so she sent me a lovely video so I could see what it was like. We have a piece of quartz, a quartz point, and that's just to amplify healing and divination. We have this yellow piece of calcite, and that stands for the goddess Hestia, who gave up her seat on Mount Olympus for Dionysus and decided that her place was in the hearth of your home, in people's homes. So this would stand for self-sacrifice, nurturing, and sustenance. This funny little stone has come from a gymnasium. It has come from a gymnasium in a temple, and this is Roman. So if this was pulled out, I would say to you, are you getting enough exercise? And as we know, the Romans took over Greece as they marched across the Mediterranean world and basically pinched all of the Greek gods. This was my father's poker dice, and this stands for Hermes, who the Muses, the bee nymphs, taught the art of dice or stone throwing. So this would be, if you pulled this out, I would actually get this out, which is a dice with all of the Greek letters on. And each letter means something. So we would work on divination with dice. And we have our omega, beta, delta, etc. Now we get to some of the smaller ones. This little goddess stands for Rhea or Gaia. I haven't decided. Mother Goddess, Grandmother Earth. And we have this little bone horse. It used to belong to my fiancé before he passed away. And this stands for Lord Poseidon of the sea. And then we have this little shell. And this was collected by me at the foot of Poseidon's temple. So this stands for making offerings. We have Athena's owl. So planning, justice, strategy, intelligence. And we have a lotus here, and a lotus stood for Hera, Queen of Zeus. We have the symbol of Delphi, know thyself, everything in moderation. So if this came out with this, I would say you're definitely drinking too much. And we have 2 coins here. This ancient one is Greek. I have got the dates, but they're not near me. And this silver one is Roman. Has Emperor's head and a Fortuna on the back. So if these came out, these stand for Demeter, the goddess of abundance. We have a star. This would stand for the Pleiades. We have a sun, which would be Helios. We have a pomegranate for Persephone. This is my representation of a lyre, a Greek lyre. So for the Muses, so if this was pulled out, are you thinking of creating something? You need to create something, whether it be music, art, poetry, or even a project, a work project. And this also stands for the labyrinth. And as you walk in, you think of the things you wish to get rid of, And then on the way out, you think of the things you wish to draw towards you. We also have a scarab beetle, and not strictly Greek, more Egyptian, but this is one of my spirit helpers. There was trade between Egypt and Greece, Archaea as they would have called it in those days, and ideas are swapped. So this would stand for cleansing as it normally does, but also ideas and culture swaps. And then we have these two eyes. This pale blue eye represents Odysseus. And this dark blue eye represents Achilles. And the last thing I have in here is Garnet. I haven't quite decided who to attribute that to at the moment. So that is one thing. So if you have any ideas, who have I missed out? Who would Garnet suit? Perhaps Heracles? Jason? Or someone else? Some of the women perhaps, because it kind of looks like a pomegranate. Who would be Persephone, but we have a pomegranate there. So if you have any ideas, shout them out to me and I'll see what fits. So here we have all of the trinkets from the Greek. Bone throwing, I suppose you'd call this, bone casting. And we could accompany that with an array of tarot cards, of Greek oracle cards from Delphi. But look at all of those beautiful things. So if you would like a Greek divination reading or healing, because the two go together with me, just send me a little email. And let's just pick something, a few things out now. I'm just going to rummage my hands, not looking. So we have Hades and we have Ariadne's red thread. So are you feeling a little bit lost at the moment? Don't know which way to turn, don't quite know what answers to work on. Work on elimination. Use this to cut things away. Write your lists if you need to. Let's do something else. Horses also stand for moving forward. So once you have cut some things out of your life, you should be able to find your way and move forward with your life. So I'm going to leave this right here. A little show and tell from my magical corner here in what I call the womb room, because there's a lot of red in it. And I'm going to wish you a wonderful day or evening. I'm going to leave that right here. And I will see you the next time. Bye bye.